It's Louise Schofield for Scott's Menswear. I'm chilling with Jake Bugg. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, not too bad, thank you, Jake. How's 2022 been treating you so far? How's it been?
Yeah, it's been good. Just excited to get going again, really, and got a few things coming up. Working on some new music, and yeah, back out on the road in a couple of months. So can't wait. I'm really excited, man.
Yeah, you got a monster tour coming up. You're hitting pretty much all corners of the UK, and you're going to Ireland as well. So you must be absolutely buzzing to get back on that stage and get that crowd getting pumped as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we've played some of those venues before, which I know are great, and so I'm excited to get back in there and obviously play some of the places that we love playing. And yeah, before the first lockdown, some of the gigs really went off, so hopefully there'll be more of that this time around.
The energy at these gigs at the moment, people have just been begging for it, haven't they? Just to be back in that environment with pints flying about the place, you know, having fun, having a bit of a boogie. It's going to be.
No, absolutely, and I think that's it. I think it's been an incredibly tough time for most people, and I think people are just happy to be back out and enjoying life again.
The beauty of music, brings us all together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's quite a big year for you this year because your debut album is turning 10 this year, which is crazy. The time has gone so quickly because I remember when that album came out and the buzz around Nottingham and everything like that. And how does it feel that album is going to turn 10 this year? It's absolutely mad.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing, to be honest. It just feels like it was yesterday. And yeah, so obviously when we're back out on the road, we'll be playing some of the old tracks as well for everybody. And I think yeah, it's just crazy to think where the time's gone, really. But hopefully, yeah, many more albums to come in the future.
Absolutely, because you seem to be someone that's always writing as well. So as you were saying, you've got some more music on the way as well. So, but it's great because you've kind of like sonically been changing your sound throughout your albums and stuff, and that's obviously with people you've been working with, because Saturday Night, Sunday Morning, that had very pop sensibilities going through it, which I really liked, and I think it was nice to see it in a different respect as well for you, for like more dynamic kind of sound. I mean, to play those live as well, it must be really nice to integrate those with like the kind of older stuff you've got as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and what I tried to achieve with the last album is just keeping the energy high, and I think, you know, it really helps for the live shows as well, especially integrating that with the older stuff, and yeah, just kind of balance the old with the new a little bit. So, but yeah, I think for me, I like to try and do something different for every album, and you know, and try and experiment. And I think it's important. And I know people probably want you to carry on doing the same thing sometimes, but unfortunately, and it'd be interesting to see what people thought if, you know, if the third or fourth or even the last record was the first one. It'd be interesting to see people's perspectives.
That's it, because some people pick up your music throughout the journey, don't they? So like, this is your 5th album, obviously, so they might pick it up there and look back and be like, oh wow, that's really cool. We can kind of like see where the foundations have kind of come from.
No, absolutely, and like some of my, you know, there's some artists that you know, I might not even like their music very much, but they might have that one record that I just absolutely love, and you know, and I think that it's nice to try and make something for everybody.
Yeah, and I did read that this was like one of the albums you've really enjoyed like working on, and it's been like kind of the most fun like working on as well. So was that like just because you got to experiment a little bbit more and kind of have that like input into like creating those tracks and things? Yeah,
absolutely, and the people that I was working with, you know, very enthusiastic, and yeah, and kept the energy very high in the studio, which is always fun. And for me, it was, you know, it was kind of more of a test to see if I could kind of bring my sound and my DNA into a more modern sound, really, and I think it worked, and I think it'd be interesting to see how it develops going forward as well.
Well, yeah, and I think the arrangement of the album's really nice as well, because you do have those moments on there like Downtown and Scene and Hold Tight, which are a little bit more stripped back, and they're kind of cushioned in between these kind of more upbeat tracks. So was that kind of like a thought process of the album, you wanted to kind of like cushion those in between some of those in terms of the arrangement of the album?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, you know, the arrangement of the album is incredibly important. You want it to flow. Like for me, like, you know, I love records that you can just put on and you just leave them on, and whether I'd achieve that with this one, I don't know, but
I think so.
But I think like songs like Hold Tight, you know, the end of the record, you know, I just wanted to, you know, let people know that, you know, that part of me and that DNA is never going to go away. That's kind of, you know, what I grew up playing, and very much of what I'm about.
Absolutely. And does it feel weird, like, when you think about like 10 years ago and you made an album with this kind of like these kind of like injections of dynamic sound kind of going through them? Did you think you'd ever make an album like this? Obviously, when you look at like where you started, do you think you would ever kind of evolve into something like this?
Yeah, I guess not really, because I think as you get older, your music taste develops, and you like more stuff, and obviously I think as a teenager you're a lot more closed-minded when it comes to the things you like. So you know, whereas these days, you know, you try and keep an open mind and enjoy the process. And at the end of the day, if it's not you know, if it's not great, then no one really has to hear it. So
well, that's it. That's a good way of looking at it. It's positive, isn't it? I mean, it's your baby all the time. Every time you make a new record, it's your baby, and you're kind of like putting it out there to the world and stuff.
That's it, yeah. And like, you know, it's funny. You know, I listen to my own music before it's out. Once it's out in the ether, then no.
Yeah, we still got dirty to see.
Unless I'm really drunk and I'm like just assessing it. But,
yeah. Over a bit, like this isn't right. What's going on?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. It's like, I shouldn't have released that one.
Should have been first. Oh no. But it's nice that you kind of look back and reflect, and I think that's what we have been doing over the past couple of years, which has been interesting as well. I think as well, like with the videos, it's interesting to see, like you did that video where you were looking back at all of your old stuff and where you've kind of, the videos that you started with musically and all that. But I think all your videos have had that cinematic feel going through a lot of them, which I think has been quite nice. Like, do you have an idea of how you'd like a track to look sometimes when you have the record and the track? Do you think, I think we'd like to go down this road with it?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. My idea of a good music video is one where I'm not in it, to be honest.
Someone else get in there.
They're pretty long to film, long days, aren't they? But
yes.
Yeah, we did some crazy stuff on the last record with the videos, like, you know, the song Lost. It was like, you know, I was doing wire work and stuff, like things I never thought I'd be doing. I think I was dangling up there for a little while, thinking, what on earth am I doing up here?
All for art.
Yeah,
for art.
And I remember I was up, I was hanging on this wire, and like the directors went to go have a chat, and I've just swung round 180 degrees and just staring at a green screen, and I'm like dangling with no one. No, yeah, exactly. A bit of help, please. Yeah.
You're putting your life on the edge, you know. But you know what? It looks great, so it's worth it.
Yeah, that's it. But it didn't look. I think there's a few pictures going around behind the scenes that are quite hilarious, to be honest.
Surface them, get them out. But all I need as well. You had a little choir on that as well. But I love what you did with that whole video as well, and it had a bit more of a boogie in there as well.
No,
so
absolutely, and I think that's, you know, I think as you know, doing this job and like, you know, over the years, I think it really helps your confidence to grow, and I think, you know, I think it shows in the performances in the music videos, and you know, doing, you know, more performance to camera kind of stuff, things that, you know, I probably weren't confident or had no absolutely no willingness to do it, so you know, it's nice to be a bit more confident in front of the camera nowadays.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how, and it's nice to look back at where you started and where you are now, and I think like when you are hitting that 10-year birthday, it's interesting to think, wow, that's where it all started. Because I mean, it was the #1 album, your debut album, so you know, as albums go, it's not too bad, eh?
No, probably the only one as well, so for a while, so yeah, but you don't know, it's like, and it's strange because the music industry has changed so much in those 10 years as well, that it, you know, when that first record came out, people were still buying CDs, so it's just getting incredibly more difficult these days, but you know, that's not the reason you do it for the success. You do it because you love it, and
that's it.
You know, and that's what, you know, for me, if I was staying in terrible hotels and touring in a little van like the early days for the rest of my life, I'd be pretty happy with that. So,
yeah, it's a good vibe, isn't it? Now you've got TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
I think there is a TikTok. I personally don't run it because I think my fans know how I feel about such things. Like, you know, and I feel bad because, you know, I want to give them content and stuff, but you know, as I say, it's just, you know, it's not the world that I started off in when 10 years ago, so it's changed incredibly fast, and it's just funny seeing some of the old legends on TikTok doing dances and stuff. You're like, what are you doing?
How do you know how to do this? I can't even do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
fair play.
Nice one. But you're also going to be doing the Ronaldinho documentary, doing all the music for that, which is so exciting. I mean, do you have like a fresh canvas for that? Is that like something you can just produce from the start?
Yeah, pretty much. So it kind of came about in the first lockdown, the opportunity to score the film, which I was, you know, over the moon about. Obviously, it was like the best player in the world growing up, and when I was a kid, you know, we just watched him at the time. If Ronaldinho did something on the television, you could guarantee we'd all be trying it in training that week. So yeah, it was just an absolute pleasure, and obviously, you know, and it never felt like, you know, work at any point. It was, you know, it's such an inspiring, you know, person, and to watch him, you know, do the thing he enjoys most was just incredible, and to write music to watching him play football was just the best experience ever, really. But yeah, it's a blank canvas, but that's what's interesting. Like, I feel like when you're writing it, you kind of know when it fits or when it's right, and you kind of know when it doesn't as well. Yeah. So, but I say that, and people might watch it and just think it's terrible.
No, I love it. I mean, because you've been to Brazil a few times to play, obviously, so you've kind of been in the culture and things like that. So have you had that in your mind when you've been kind of producing these tracks, like kind of looking the Brazilian culture and things?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, for me, it was kind of like learning music all over again. I like learning the guitar all over again. I had to kind of learn these kind of you know, 4-note samba guitar chords and things like that, and kind of some of the rhythms and stuff, and so it was just a great learning experience, and that's what I love about making music, is as great as it is to get something out of it and something you know, that people can listen to and hold on to, the amount you take away and learn from it is just invaluable, really.
Absolutely, and to stamp it on something like that documentary, I mean, what a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't think, like if another job comes in, for like, it's going to be hard to kind of top that one. Really.
Yeah.
So,
Give me more.
unless any more football players want any more music. So.
He's keen. He's in it.
I'd be quite happy with that if I just scored football movies. That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Get career sorted. Let's carry it on. Well, Jake, that all sounds so exciting, and thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Pleasure.
What is it looking like for the rest of the year for you? How's it looking, sort of like music-wise and things like that?
Yeah, rest of the year, as I say, we've got the tour coming up, and I'm already working on new stuff, so hopefully we'll have some. We're hoping to put a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 tracks out before the tour as well, which will which would be great to have something out, because usually, you know, with the last record you'd be touring it, but we didn't have that opportunity. So, you know, I think it'd be nice to have something fresh to play on the road as well.
Absolutely. Well, people are going to be absolutely buzzing to be there as well, so it's going to be wicked.
I hope so.
Oh, please be. They will. Oh, well, Jake, thank you so much.
Pleasure,
and enjoy the rest of your day, and it's really exciting to hear about all this stuff coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.